Hello, viewers. Thank you for tuning in. We are in conversation with Srikanth Bolla, the real life Srikanth, on whose life that inspiring film Srikanth was produced earlier this year. Srikanth Bolla is also the chairman of Bollant Industries, and he is a very, very strong proponent of sustainability. Srikanth, thank you for joining us for this conversation.
Thank you so much, sir, for having me today. Indeed, conferences like this will definitely encourage entrepreneurs to think about sustainability and smart manufacturing practices. We had great deliberations and dialogue today. I congratulate you for organizing such fantastic speaker lineup and conferences.
Thank you. Thank you for that very encouraging feedback. For the benefit of viewers, Bollant Industries is in the business of...
Bollant has a small vision of creating world-class products from waste that people should be proud of using, and by using people who are at the margins of the society. On that front, we are very happy to contribute our own small bit in recycling municipal waste into fresh brown craft paper, free-fallen palm leaves into tableware and food packaging products, which are even currently exported to countries like USA. And we are also recycling pharma waste into industrial chemical products and pharma solvents into paint and biofuel related products. We recycle 100% of our water into process back again, and recycle solid waste like boiler ash into mineral products like silica and aluminum. We are currently in the process of utilizing agricultural residues and agricultural derivatives in the formulation of surfactants for cleaning, detergent and beauty care products. And we take a lot of pride in contributing for the environment, because I feel creating scalable businesses out of waste is the only way to make money in the socially responsible manner while giving a good environment to our younger generations.
That's quite impressive, Srikanth, in terms of the business areas and also the vision. But you still say that when it comes to waste management and recycling, in India we are still just about scratching the surface. Why do you say that? And what is the scope you see going ahead?
I think if in order to become a $5 trillion economy, one of the most important things that Indian businesses need to tackle is to how to properly reuse, reduce and recycle waste. I think whatever policies that we currently have in for reducing and reusing and recycling waste are not enough, but they are just basically barely scratching the surface. Even the plastic blanket ban didn't work. So I really think instead of putting stern policies into people which will not be implemented at grassroots levels, we need to basically encourage and promote entrepreneurial skills and entrepreneurs to incentivize entrepreneurs to reuse, reduce and recycle waste. I think that's when slowly we can get away from the generation of unrecyclable waste. Currently, we are producing a lot of millions and millions of tons of unrecyclable waste, which is getting dumped into landfills, which is increasingly becoming a greater concern for environment and pollution and sustainability and ecology as well. So I think we are seeing a lot of change in the temperature, seasons, and rains are falling whenever they are not supposed to, weather changes are coming. For all these, I think we need to encourage waste management and sustainable practices and sustainable companies. Government should give more and more incentives and licenses to people who wants to recycle waste. For in India, we have a lot of stringent regulations around recycling waste, because I do understand there are some people who misuses it, but that's there everywhere. But I think because of that, smaller entrepreneurs, especially in the MSME sector, are struggling to get licenses to recycle waste in the country. I think we need to look at from the top-down approach and make it more friendly policies for recycling waste. I think that's when we can really tackle this problem efficiently. Otherwise, we are going to see a lot of issues going forward, because we are a country of 1.5 billion people whose per capita of plastic consumption is very, very high. And if you see paper alone, I believe an user per capita consumption of paper per year is 37 kgs. And that's quite a big number, out of which only 25% is being recycled and remaining 75% is ending up in landfills, which needs to be recycled. So we at Bollant has started recycling of municipal paper, which is mixed with plastic. Previously, no one actually touched that waste. When we started making paper plates, for example, we used to burn the trimmings that used to come out of paper plate manufacturing. I was really very, very much annoyed of throwing that waste into open areas. So I really thought to myself and say, I want to recycle this waste. I think that's what inspired me to get into paper manufacturing. And that too, I'm not interested in greenfield projects, because in India we have a lot of disused brownfield assets which are ready to be modified to catch up with Industry 4.0. I think that's what I have done over last 8 years. I always go after sick and disused factories and then upgrade them within record 6-month time. So I think that's when the return on capital is much quicker, the capex is much lower, and the work that we want to do will be much higher. Right. And we have successfully optimized our process and recycled this municipal soiled paper into beautiful paper. And I think that's when the entire industry segment has copied the process, and they have replicated it. Now the soiled paper also has gotten a good value. I think this is the way every entrepreneur must think about recycling every waste that we have around us.
And you suggest that you say that even ash generated by the industries can be reused.
Absolutely.
Yeah?
For example, whatever ash that we generate in our own factories, we turn that to minerals like aluminum derivatives and silica. And the silica that we manufacture is 99% pure, and it is even qualified for ultra clear glass manufacturing, because the iron content in the silica is less than 0.01%. I think that's the efficient recycling process that we have, and we still need to scale this recycling process to a greater levels, but we are truly afraid of capex, but we are on the way of scaling up. COVID actually hit us very hard, otherwise we would have been much ahead of ourselves, but it's part of our life, and we have to quickly get back to our normal position, and that's what we are doing right now.
What is your vision for Bollant Industries by the end of this decade, 2030?
I want to see Bollant as one of the unicorns within few years' time, and that too profitable unicorn. Because in my view, being a unicorn who is burning 60%, who is making negative 60% of profit or burning 60% cash, is actually not unicorn. I want to be a unicorn with at least net 15% margin. I think that's when we can build a company that will last forever. My vision for Bollant is to build a company that has no owner, that only the system should drive the company and technology should drive the company. And then once I settle down the company, my goal is to pursue my professional career of becoming the President of India, and I'm on the way of doing so.
And best wishes for that. And tell me, Bollant Industries also comes across as a good example of socially responsible business and enterprise. So do you think in India, the lawmakers, the government should really do more to encourage, to facilitate the more such socially responsible enterprises, which will really encourage a lot of budding entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs to kind of consider ways of making money well, but in a very socially responsible, socially inclusive way?
Absolutely, yes. Government should do more for inclusive culture-oriented companies or socially responsible companies, because 10% of India is challenged in some form or the other. And most of them are unemployed or employed in low-end jobs. And even otherwise, most of 90% of our Indian population is either employed, unemployed, or employed in low-end jobs. And it is a big, laborious goal that we as entrepreneurs have to provide meaningful employment to marginalized communities, empower them and empathize them. And we have a limited amount of resources with which we work. So I think policies should be towards more inclusive, more equitable, so that we as entrepreneurs have enough freedom to work in these areas and provide more and more opportunities for vulnerable communities and the sections of the society. I think that's when it happens.
Right. And also, of course, I mean, you were born into a society which still, one could debate, is still not quite very inclusive. You had your fair share of challenges.
Absolutely.
And as you said, you had to walk 5 kilometers one way to school and sit in one of the back benches because you are not included among in the friend circle of the so-called regular or normal children. So that was a big challenge that you have faced in your early childhood.
Yes,
but that was also an inspiration.
And even today, even today, that challenge is faced by everyone like me. So the only way to mitigate these kind of stigma and challenges is to make education integrated or inclusive. Right now, most of the education for people with disabilities is secluded from the mainstreaming. And mostly these schools, special schools, are run by voluntary organizations and charitable organizations who does not qualify all the policies and procedures of the government, and also they don't give right exposure at the right age to students in studying in special schools, thereby missing out on a lot of opportunities from the mainstream society. So the only way people like me can become more independent is to include them into mainstreaming of society when they were very young. That's when people get to know how to behave with these kind of people, and then people with disabilities also get to know how to mingle with regular children. I think that's when the exposure is going to be building up and they can dream just like the able-bodied person. I think that's the only way we can mitigate this problem. And the standard of knowledge and skills among people with disabilities also will be increased when you put them with normal children and normal kids to thrive.
Srikanth, was it always your? When did that dream take take birth in you to go to MIT, or was it something which happened just in the due course of your education? And
everything that I did so far, whether fighting with the government to allow me to study science in the intermediate levels, or learning to play chess and cricket for India, or learning swimming, baseball, whatnot, I think everything happened due to the challenges that I have faced. Whenever someone said no to me, I always wanted to prove that I can do it. Whenever someone says, Srikanth, you cannot do this, I always hear that as, Srikanth, you can do it. I think no is something that I never hear, but yes is something that I always see. For me, every challenge is for me an opportunity for me to thrive. Therefore, I think all the challenges made me a stronger and tougher person. So when I was studying in Chinmaya Vidyalaya, everybody was talking about going to Ivy League schools and foreign schools. I overheard them talking. That's when I decided, if they can go, why I can't go? So I think that's how I got this manifested dream of going into good schools and studying there. And even that time IITs said, we cannot admit you because you are blind. I think that's when I said, how long can we fight through the system, and let me prove myself where I am recognized as a man with ability. I think that's how I began to aim bigger, because I always dream big, work hard, and let the universe help me succeed. This is what I have learned from my own beloved role model, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji, who always called me a hero. And I truly mean it, and I always have that bigger vision, even though I can't see. And with that vision, I think I don't have any limitation to do anything in life that I want to, even though it is difficult.
Reasons more than enough for any filmmaker to
I'm not sure
think
about
a film.
that.
But I'm pretty sure you never thought that a film would be made on your life, did you?
Absolutely not. Even when Tusharji approached randomly, I turned down his request for 2 years. But this man persisted and somehow convinced me, and he ensured that he would do a great job and he would inspire millions. I think that's what it did. I think the film is not about me. It's about a person who had a strong conviction, who had all odds against him, but was able to push through his boundaries and was able to do something meaningful, but yet not successful. Because for me, success is like a journey, and we have to travel on this journey. All the awards and rewards that we make in the way are the byproducts of what good work you do. So I think I'm very happy that my story is inspiring people who are feeling low, people who otherwise thought they couldn't do something. Now they are thinking, if Srikanth can do it, even we can do it. That's the level of inspiration people are receiving it. And I'm very happy to bring more Srikanths into Indian industry and Indian culture. And we need more entrepreneurs like me to make India a $5 trillion economy.
Right.
And in a very small, minuscule way, that I'm very happy to be a part of this growth story of Indian economy.
Right. On that note, Srikanth, it's a great pleasure to and an inspiring experience as well to talk to you. Briefly, last word from you, a message, if I may call it, to people who are able-bodied and people who are challenged or, let's say, impaired in some way or the other.
You know, I always say God can only give us starting circumstances, but we make our own destiny. The future is in our hands to make it less predictable and more interesting. Because we should believe in our own spark. We should believe in our own aspirations. And if our response to challenges is to say bring it on, then I'm sure the whole world will conspire us to help us succeed. And the only way we can be successful is to fail and learn and unlearn. Because the more you fail, the better person you become. And unless you fail, you don't become a better person. So I always tell people to try everything and fail, but not have regret in future that you have not tried it. I think if we have that mindset, no limitation will prevent us from achieving whatever we want to do in life. I always say people who may not have sight will always have powerful vision, and the vision is all that it matters, all that it takes for us to be successful in life. Because vision has no disability, vision has no limitation, and if vision has no limitation, then why should we surrender to some physical problem? I think we are the weapon of ourselves. I think we have enough talents, we have enough powers, and we can do it.
Right. Indeed. As you were saying that, it also reminds me of a saying that more people fail because out of the fear of failure than failure itself. And,
yes, I think
you personify that. No.
Yes.
If anything that comes, that is you personify that adage which says, no, always challenge the norms.
Yes.
Always challenge the convention to achieve something remarkable and really great.
I think since I don't have eyesight, I don't see fear. Therefore, I am fearless.
Right.
See, fear is the biggest disability that we tackle with, and if you can surpass fear, I think nothing can stop you.
Yeah. And may you always, you and your team always remain unstoppable in achieving your dreams and vision. Always a great pleasure meeting you and talking to you, Srikanth, and wishing you and your team all the very best.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thank you for sparing your time. And their viewers, you heard Srikanth Bolla, and a man who personifies that never give up spirit, and as he says, anything that comes to him as a no is a yes for him. So thank you for tuning in to watch this very inspiring conversation. Do take care. Till we meet again. Goodbye.